Hey, Clarity Crew. Welcome back to our little corner of the podcast world. I'm your host, Malaysia, the owner of Simple Clarity Co. This is our second podcast in honor of Women's History Month. We're going to focus on the mental well-being through physical movement. It is very important, but it is also a challenge for us because we are trying to make moving and having that movement every day of some sort a lifestyle and not just a fad or a diet or a quick fix, but we're also doing that while we're trying to navigate societal expectations that often weigh on us the most. There's more of a stigma of how women should look, how fit their body should be, how curved or not curved their body should be. And it takes a toll on your mental well-being to know if you're fitting in the mold that is attractive. One, you don't need to fit into anyone's mold but your own. And two, we're actually going to dive in with someone who is a former all-star athlete, former certified physical trainer. Today, we're going to welcome Amy Johns and her thoughts on breaking down the societal expectation and pressures on mental health through movement, along with what toll social media can take and how it can be also a inspirational way to begin movement and keep that motivation going for you. Without further ado, let's get ready for this inspiring conversation and welcome Amy Johns. Welcome, Amy, to our Clarity Crew podcast.
Hey.
I want to first go ahead and let everyone know you are a former all-star athlete, former coach, former certified trainer. I'm just going to run down through all your accolades real quick so they can see, oh, she was doing something out here, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to start where I started in McKee
Yeah.
School.
Yeah, we did.
We're going to leave middle school out because that's where we really started. But we're going to go right to high school, okay? I want y'all to know Amy, one, is the most hardworking athlete I've witnessed in my life. I've witnessed it. I've had to run Sweet 16s with her. Okay. I've witnessed her rolling her ankle at practice and throwing it in an ice bucket so she can continue to
Oh,
practice because we got a
yeah.
game and she
Yes.
got to play. We're not, what are you doing? She got to play. There's no rest.
I forgot about that.
I remember,
Wow.
I remember you sitting in that bucket and we just running returns. And I'm like, I hope they don't think she about to run again. And yes, she did.
It did.
And they tied that shoe so tight
They
around her
sure
ankle,
did.
and she continued to practice. Because why? Because we have a
Yeah.
game, and Amy got
Yeah.
to play in the game. The
Yeah.
expectation that Amy has had, that I have personally witnessed throughout our friendship, okay? And
Yeah.
our friendship really started when I was in 7th grade. We are 35 and 36 now. I,
Oh
I have
man.
witnessed so much throughout
Yeah.
her entire athletic life and the expectations and pressures put on her and not being able to mess up and it be okay. I've witnessed it
Mm.
firsthand. And that's why I wanted to talk to you today, because there's so much that now that we're adults, I did not know you would probably be going through as a kid, the mental overload, emotional overload. So I'm gonna run through your accolades real quick in your athletic career, and then we'll
Yeah.
touch a little, and then we'll go into these questions. Okay.
Let's
All right.
do it. I'm ready.
All right. So you began at McKeesport Senior High School, where you were a 4-time all-section player. You led the Whippeals in scoring one year. I was there. Put up over 2,000 career points. I witnessed them things. You're a 3-time Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Fab Five honoree, and was a member of 2 state tournament teams. That was just high school. And then you
Yeah.
went off to a D1 college, Xavier University. I remember that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I did.
Left Xavier, went to Cal U.
Cal, you. Yep.
Over there in Cal U, scoring over 1,000 points. You earned a PSAC West Athlete of the Year, and you had multiple all PSAC West first team honors throughout your college career at Cal U.
Yeah, I did.
Also, she was in a magazine. I have it. I'll post it. And she signed it for me. Hello. And then, now that we're done, post athletic world, right? You became a coach. You were the assistant head coach at Penn State Great Allegheny in
Hmm.
McKeesport. Then you also were an AAU coach for multiple AAU teams, both genders, boys and girls. And then you came over into the world of physical training, certified physical trainer. Did your thing there, navigated to now a fitness influencer enthusiast on social media, racking up the followers. I remember when that happened. I said, "Who following her? They don't know Amy." We put you in a group chat. We say, "Who do you think you are over here on social media blowing up?" So
Crazy.
that is what I got to witness of your life that I wanted to share with people in the podcast world. And I feel like you've been through so many different stages of fitness, and we're going to throw in where the mental part comes in, the mental overload throughout all of this, and people still expecting you to be the image that they have of you. I have witnessed you whenever that fitness kicks back in, it's because you're getting that mental back. Something brought you down and you're like, you know what? I'm going back to the gym. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
myself physically fit. I need to get my mental right. I need to stay stable, if you will. I need to find where I'm at again. Find me, not worry about everybody else. And the reason why I think you're such a great person to talk about this is because you put it on social media throughout the years. They've seen you fitness and then you're gone. Fitness and that's that mental part. That's that I need to step away. That's that depression kicking in. That's the whatever. You let us witness it. You didn't have to, but you let
Yeah.
us witness it. You didn't fake the funk. You didn't keep working out and post like you was like everything was still fine. No, I'm going through it. Whenever I thought about this portion of the Women's History Month podcast, I said that's the perfect person because she didn't hide anything. Me being your friend and knowing it, and me realizing that you didn't even hide it from people that are strangers, that says a lot.
Well, first off,
Yeah.
thank you. Number one, thank you for having me here. I mean, everything that you just said, you just like reminded me. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that did happen. Because sometimes you forget, but yeah, nice little blast from the past. Appreciate that.
I got you. I got you. And I just told my gram yesterday because she called me about the previous podcast, telling me how she was so proud of me and she loved it. And I said, this next one is about Amy. And her thing was, tell Amy I'm so proud of her. I said, I will, Gigi. She said, tell Amy I just
Yeah,
want her to be happy and I'm glad she's happy. That's exactly what she said yesterday. Thank you, yes, once again for coming on this podcast and being open to share as much as you want. You
yeah,
ain't got to go crazy.
yeah.
We're going to dive into the questions. Are you
Hmm.
ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Now, to preference all these questions is a statement that you actually have made in an interview before.
Okay.
And it was that you brought the mental toughness and stability that you have received as your core from sports.
Yeah,
That's what you are always trying to put into your life.
yeah,
And it was one where you did an interview when you were the assistant coach at Penn State Great Allegheny. So these questions kind of go into that, where you developed that and it had its ups and downs in the real world, but you're here. That is the mindset, everyone, that Amy Johns goes into this whole mental well-being and fitness, because her sports did play a big role in her mental stability and your ability to keep going on.
yeah,
You were trained no matter what. So
yeah.
you have to press forward. All right. So let's jump into this first question. How did the transition from a collegiate athlete to a post athlete life impact your mental health?
This great question to start off with, right? I started playing sports when I was very young. I was 4 years old. That was my identity. That's all I knew. Like you said, I competed at an elite level. So when I graduated, I call it the air came out of the ball. I was like, oh man, I don't know what else I'm good at. All I know is sports. Like that's literally who I am. That's everything that's what I stand for. That's what people know me for when they see that. Like, oh, that's Amy Johns. They don't even say Amy. They say my full name, Amy Johns. And for me, it was a struggle to transition from that because I literally was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just stick to what I know. And like you said, I've coached high school girls, high school boys. I've actually done AAU. I did all of that. And that's where I felt most at home. So it was a transition because I still wanted to play. And there was a time where I was actually planning on going to play pro ball overseas. And then I ruptured my Achilles. And then that for me, that took a hit because it was the first major injury I have ever had in my entire career. I've had sprained ankles, things like that, but when I fully ruptured it, I was like, man, this is it. This is it. So I said, you know what, maybe God has something else planned for me. And that's one of the reasons why I had gotten to coaching. So it was tough, but with the mindset I had, okay, all right, we're gonna persevere, we're gonna grind through this. Let's figure it out.
I do remember you being on those crutches, and I'm like, how did you do that?
Yeah,
How did you do that?
man.
As your friend, we could see it, friends, because it's me and another group, but we
Yeah.
could see that you lost your identity for a minute,
Hmm.
but that identity was put on you externally.
Yes.
It was never your actual identity. It was everybody else's identity for you, their perspective of
Yeah.
you. And we saw it as your friends because we know you outside of an athlete. By
Yeah.
the way, y'all, my girl can blow. She sings. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. So we know you so much more outside of that, but we could see that that is what your mental thought process was. I'm a basketball player. I'm an athlete. This is what I'm supposed to do. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever got the freedom to choose if that's what you wanted to do.
No, he was definitely domesticated in that sense. And I think that was one of the challenges that I really struggled with, even during my playing career, you know, going from one school to the next and that transition period, coming out at
Yes.
around that time as well. So it was mentally it was exhausting, and I think that that definitely played a part in, you know, the mental health part of the seeking for external validation, and a lot of things that I have learned, a lot of things that I have healed, a lot of work that I have put in, and we'll talk more about that, I'm sure, later. But it was tough. I didn't know who I was. I was so heavily reliant on other people and them saying, "Oh, I'm doing good or I'm doing bad," and that messed me up because when I was doing bad, I felt very alone. I felt very alone. So that was tough for me at that time.
I think the first time I realized that you were not human, but that you can feel bad about you calling me and you said, "Can you pick me up from the Great House station?" I'm like, ma'am, you're supposed to be at Xavier.
I was like 19.
And I said, "Are you?" And that was when you came out. You came out in college, your freshman year.
Yeah,
But it was like, wait, what do you mean you're leaving? What do you?
yeah,
Okay, I was making sure. I said, "You here already? I'm gonna be here in a second. Can you pick me up?" I sure can. It didn't dawn on me until then how close we were that I was like, she entrusted me.
yeah,
I don't know what number call I was, but the fact that I was an option was
yeah.
like, okay. I ain't talked to you in a month of Sundays, and just so everyone knows, we've established that we are secret best friends. We don't know why, but it just pops up. Something crazy could
It
happen, something detrimental, and it's just like I'm gonna reach out to Amy, or I'm gonna call Malaysia, like,
is.
and I was
Yeah,
like, she called me to pick her. Yes, I
yeah,
will. Yes, I will. I'll come and pick you up. And then you stayed with me for a couple of nights, and you was able to go off with another family member. But it was just like, you need me. No, I think being a teammate is such a core thing
hmm.
because
Yeah,
we see each other on different levels. We see the outskirts of our personality, but we see the mental toughness. We've had to help each other stand up
yeah. We did.
for real, physically. It never dawned on us that that would become our adult life. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter how long we don't talk. Soon as you
Doesn't.
send a text, we got to help you stand up. And it's crazy because it's not like we ever said it, but it's just we were ingrained.
It
That's
was.
what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was ingrained, and we didn't know. We were just like, yeah, we got to do it. There's still no ifs, ands, or buts. Still none.
yeah.
And there's no
Still
judgment.
none. Still none.
Still
All these
none.
years
And
later.
no judgment, nothing. We're just like, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's one of the core things that has always stuck with me. And I was like, we're literally secret best friends. Like, no one knows this, but we are. Like, it does not matter. So that was the first time I witnessed a mental shift, or that you could be depressed, that you could
Yeah.
be down. I was
Yeah.
like,
Like you said, like
this
I
is
was human.
yeah. I was like, wait a minute. She experiences this? Like everything's glory for her. Into our second question here. It's, can you describe a specific moment during your athletic career or even after it when you realized the importance of prioritizing your mental health?
Oh man, you know what? Being raised in this, certain way, a time where mental health is like, ain't nothing wrong with you. You know what I mean? Being raised by boomers, it's a different mindset. So there were times where people did try to offer help, but I'm like, ain't no wrong with me. What you mean? I don't need no help, right? And then as I continue to find that identity and who I really was, I actually didn't find out till later on in life when mental health became more accepted, and then I started to work in mental health at that. So I said, oh, let me see what this is like. I'm gonna give it a try. And then being from where we're from, and not fully being comfortable coming out, it's like I want a certain type of therapist, like
Mhm.
So it took me a little second to kind of like really find one.
Mhm.
But then when I found her, I was like, yeah, this is what I need. This is exactly what I needed, and I wish that I would have done it sooner. But I would say if I had to like give it an age range, I would say about the mid to later 20s. Like I didn't even
Mhm.
I was avoidant for a long time. I was suppressed my emotions. I was don't nobody care about that. That you talked about the that mental grind, the mental toughness that I had. And realistically, that was just an avoidance. That's what that was. That was,
Mhm.
I don't want to feel. And then I realized later on that feeling is my superpower. That vulnerability and being authentic is my superpower. And once I realized that, I was able to really take that power back that I gave, that I was looking for from other people to give to me. No, I'm taking that. That's mine. So yeah, I am grateful. I always thank God for that. I always thank him for leading me in that direction, and the plans that we have for ourselves. He laughed at me, but at the end of the day, he got me through some stuff. And I feel like that is why I'm able to show up for
Mhm.
family and people that know me, yes, but also for strangers,
Yeah.
because we're all just trying to figure it out. We're all searching for that acceptance, that love. And there's this there's this thing with society where we praise people who don't even that post these lives that they have that aren't really even living those lives, and we shame people who do go to the internet, that are vulnerable, that may cry on camera, that may have these stories. Oh, don't post that on social media. But then now we have this whole facade, and it's just like social media is like this fake place. So I'm like, I'm not going to be that person. No, I'm not. And I'm not going to care what anyone says, because my entire life I did that and I was the most miserable. So now, having that internal validation, that gives me strength, that gives me courage, and I hope that I can do the same for other people.
Yes. I feel like there is a flip that happened. Fitness, athletics was your
Mhm.
escape to not deal with it. But
Mhm.
now it's kind of like your medicine to get your mental health back on.
It's,
It took me a minute to realize it, but I was like, it flipped. I was doing this
yeah.
so that I could fill the void and not have to think and not have to, well, not have to feel actually, and
Yeah.
not have to worry about what's reality. You kept yourself so busy that you didn't have to worry about what reality was really trying to present to you, what God was really trying
Yeah.
to tell you. And you flipped it. And like you said, it was your superpower. You were just using it in the wrong way.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
love that it has flipped now. And physical
Mhm.
movement is actually what is helping your mental well being.
It is, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love every bit of it. I love working out because it shows me like that self-respect, that self-love, right? I'm investing into me by caring for myself. Like you said, it's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down, but it's because of doing it for the wrong reasons,
Yes.
right? And now having that self-love and doing it for the right reason, and understanding that it's not just the let me lose weight real quick for this vacation I have, right? No, it's a lifestyle. Is being conscious of what you're putting into your body, not just what you're eating, but mentally. Who are you around? What's your environment like? Fitness isn't just about going to the gym and working out. It's so much more than that. And that's what I have learned, and that's what I continue to learn.
That's so funny because it leads into the next question. You doing fitness influencing on the side or being a fitness enthusiast on the side, what are some of the biggest challenges you face balancing the pressures of the influencer lifestyle with your mental well-being? Because now you've accepted it, you figured out what helps your mental well-being, but now comes this whole other world of outside expectations of just being an influencer in general.
The way that I navigate that, the way that I balance that now is, at first when the followers came and I was like, oh God, I'm expected. Like I had this expectation. I have to help people. I have to do this. I have to do that. I got to make sure I respond to this person. I got to build this. And now it's not an expectation. It's an influence. Now I'm doing it, and I don't have the expectation because I don't have to. I'm doing it now with boundaries, and that's something that I'm
Mhm.
still working on is boundaries. But I think that is the way that I do balance it. I don't feel like it's a need. I feel like I'm doing this because I genuinely just want to help people. And I'm not doing it because I want to make X amount of dollars, or I'm not doing it because I want to look a certain way. I'm not doing it because I'm looking for external validation for people to make me feel good, right? I'm doing it because internally I already feel good. So I'm just reflecting of what's on the inside of me. And I think that is definitely how I balance it. We talk about zodiacs, nowadays. I'm a Cancer. I'm a lover girl. I love everybody. I love people. I just want everybody to be happy. If I can just one person, if I can really influence them, like that's it.
And I see it. You have a glow to you. When you're back in that gym, there's
Yeah,
literally a glow. You always got a bright smile. You always got the dimples.
yeah,
But that glow, you can see it.
yeah.
I've watched the glow. I've
Hmm.
seen the glow when you are an influencer. I'm like living it. I also started to see where you doll out, me being your friend.
A lot. You know what? You're not the only person who has said that to me. I mean, if you have been following me for a while, or if you are someone who's close to me, like they always know, like, let me check on Amy.
Then I call it your little tortoise shell. You go back in your shell real quick. And I'm
The
like, oh,
Cancer the crab in me. I go in
oh,
my
there you go.
shell.
Y'all are crabs. That is right. Y'all are crabs. I forgot.
Yep,
You definitely go into that shell.
I
You
do.
and that's where I feel like you're figuring stuff out. And
Hmm.
then you're the hermit crab or whatever crab goes and switches to another shell. And now you're back to the glow.
And
She's like, I gotta find another shell. This one got messed up. I don't know how I messed it up, but I gotta go do another one. We'll try again. I feel like that is how it happens. And you just
no,
go
it
back into
is.
another. You're like, I gotta find another shell.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly. It's like I'm in there. I'm in that shell. I'm figuring out. I'm navigating. I'm like, okay, no, this isn't working. I can't read. Okay, it's time. It's time to go.
Mhm.
It's time to
Yeah,
restart.
true cancer, true cancer for sure.
Literally
And I love
textbook.
it. And I love it. And I love it. I've definitely seen it, but you already knew if you ever needed evaluation while you're in your shell, you already know that there. If you choose to
Yeah.
out- look outward to talk to someone and try to help cope with what's going on and understand what's going on, or your therapist, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
we give you that space to do that. There's no judgment.
Mhm.
There's no, oh no, here it goes again. No, it's you. It's you're still
Yeah.
figuring out. There's so many decades to undo.
Whew.
Your mental well-being hasn't even been a decade old yet.
It hasn't.
You're not hurting yourself or nothing like that, but
No.
we gotta give you that time to self-evolve. Because if we know where you're evolving to, we can meet you there,
Mhm.
keep you there,
Yeah.
uplift you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people have that type of community.
Mm-mm.
I don't think you knew you had that community until you finally, like you said, were vulnerable and let yourself fall. From
The friendships that I value, like there's no judgment.
no.
They see me. They're like, hey, I don't like that or them for you, but I'm here to support you. But when you ready, whatever things go down, whatever that looks like, you're gonna come right back here and then you're welcome. Just what you're saying is like I got your back. And
Mm.
that's one of the things that I will say is just I love my family, but my friends are everything. Because
Yes.
like you said, I don't have to talk to them every day, all day. I am a popular loner. I will just be by myself, and then when I'm ready to socialize, I'll pop out. What's up, y'all? But it's always love, and those people that accept me, I'm like, I truly value my friendships, and I love all you guys to death. I do.
I literally love that I got to witness it and I get to watch you evolve as a friend, watching you evolve, but as a woman watching you evolve. And
Yeah.
you're not a societal norm woman, and I love that. I don't like societal norm.
Yeah.
I've never fit into what society thinks should be popular, trending, or whatever. So you are gorgeous, you are muscular, you are athletic, you are feminine and soft. They're like, what is she, Amy?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say. Amy, I don't, there's no
Yeah.
label. I
There's no
don't think I've ever
late.
given myself a label. I've been Malaysia. What Malaysia? I
Yeah.
don't know. Is this a trick question? Are you mentally happy and stable?
Yeah.
And you can see it. Like I said, there's a glow. There's a
Yeah.
glow. And when there's a dullness, all your friends are on a high alert. Okay, when she's ready. Because we're going to help
Yeah.
her navigate through this, go something better so we don't make the same mistakes again. She knows she got us. It's cool. And we all got each, and you got us if we ever do that. It's just how it is. I think the friendship valuing, because I'm the same way, is because we chose to be vulnerable to those people. We have had to be strong
Mm-hmm.
so much. We've had to
Yeah.
not show any type of like weakness, no crying. No, we didn't have anyone to ask questions. We're the
Mm-hmm.
oldest in our household. We had to figure things out. We were the trial and error, if you will.
Yeah.
And so it's like when you pick a friend and you pick that time to be vulnerable with your friend and they're
Mm-hmm.
still there and they don't judge you, that you value it so much more because it's
Yeah.
like you chose me and I chose you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I needed. I just needed some type of stability that this person is here for genuinely me, not what I can do for them, not their perspective of what I can attain and they can piggyback off of,
Yeah.
because that happens a lot, especially in your life. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people wanted to attach themselves to you because of that. And
Woo.
that takes a toll on your mental. Like, do
It
you like
does.
me for who I am or what I can provide?
Yep. Or what you think I am.
What you
Yeah.
think I am or what you think I owe you, right? Or
Yeah.
what you want to be around to get the accolades from. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother mental load that
It
people
is.
don't see. You were there.
Yeah.
And then you had to find yourself, but then you had to find the external people that were actually for you at the same time.
Yeah.
All while in the beginning of your 20s when we're trying to find out who we are as an adult.
Who we even are.
I don't even know who I am.
Yeah. No, for real.
I,
Yeah.
that's a lot. God was with you the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
You did it. We all got free will. So you did it with the free will of messing up, but you never lost sight of God is with me. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah. And you know when and that's the thing about it is when you fail forward. That's where you should.
Yeah.
And then sometimes your season may be a little longer and you may be failing in the same spot, right? But eventually, you strengthen your relationship with God, right? Because that's really what it is. When I don't feel close to God, that's when I'm the furthest away from myself.
Yes.
Getting closer to Him, it has relieved me of shame. It has relieved me of guilt. It has relieved me of worry. All of these things of control, trying to control my outcome instead of just alignment and letting think what's for me. It's already written. All I got to do is show up, be a good human being, be a good person, and things will fall right in my lap. But when you realize when you try to control things, you try to force things, it's always going to go in the opposite way that you want it to go. Right? Leaning on my faith and leading with love,
Mm.
grace, self compassion, and those are things that all of my friends give me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm going into retreating, maybe I'm coming out of my shell. That's when you guys see me. That's when I feel the safest. When you're in that state of just true, like just being genuine and authentic, you realize that the way people treat you or how people are is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of their own internal battles. You want to be nasty to me? It's all right. Because, like I said, I'm a true lover. I always feel most at ease when I am leading with love.
Like you said, the love for yourself and the love for your mental health comes out a
Mm-hmm.
lot more when you're starting to work out. You want to help
Yeah.
people. You're like, you can get yourself healthy too. You can do that. And that's how it just unfolds like that naturally for you. And that's how you found your
Yeah.
lane because you fit in really well in that lane. I think you're one
Yeah.
of the few that fit in really well in that lane where it's not fitness to look a certain way, but fitness to give yourself grace to get to another spot, to get to a
Yeah.
healthy spot, to get to higher
Yeah.
strength. And there is no expectation of someone being able to do it at a certain time or look a certain way. You're teaching them
Mm-hmm.
grace to build this as a lifestyle, not just a moment,
Yeah.
Now that you've gone through the journey, right? We've been the villain. We've been
Yeah.
the victim.
Yeah.
We've been the reviver. We've been the
Mm-hmm.
survivor, right? Through
Mm-hmm.
all of that, what specific tools or practices did you find that was most helpful in managing things like your depression and maintaining your mental wellness, especially when you take these breaks from social media?
Having a routine is very important. So my go-to now when I'm going into my shell, it's always, what am I putting in my body first? All right. Am I eating? What am I reading? What are my conversations like? Right. So it's a self-reflection. What am I doing? What are my current habits? What are my current patterns? Right.
Mhm.
So then you start, okay, well, if I get rid of that and then I get rid of that, they definitely get rid of that. And then you start replacing it with things like, when I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm a journal. I'm gonna write down all my thoughts. When I first wake up in the morning, I'm gonna talk to God. When I first wake up in the morning, I'm gonna express gratitude. What are three things I'm grateful for? What was I grateful for yesterday? What can I be grateful for today? I get up and I exercise and I get my body moving. So all of those things, and it's like having a bank. Instead of me making withdrawals, I'm making deposits into my bank.
I like that.
And day by day, because it's a process. It's literally a marathon. It's not a sprint, as cliche as that sounds. But as you continue to fill your bank, you start to overflow. And when you start to overflow, there's people that's outside of that bank, and you're able to overflow into other people, not by taking out and depositing, by overflowing and depositing into people. Those are the tools that I use. Those are the things that I practice. Self-development. I love reading. I do love to read, so I'm reading books as well. When I'm in that state, at least a book a month.
Okay.
Sometimes two. If I'm really into it, it'll be two. But those are the tools that I use, and then also reaching out to friends and family. Right? There's this and I cannot remember the name of it. And my therapist, I know if she watches this, she's gonna be like, "Girl, now we talk about that all the time. Why can't you remember?" But anyway, it has to do with your self discovery, and it's
Mhm.
just like how you see yourself, how other people see you, how no one sees you. There is just different ways, and I feel like with me and that self discovery, I'm learning what I don't know about myself and what other people don't know about me.
Mm.
Just continuing to utilize that and making those small deposits and doing something different and doing it with longevity, not the end goal in mind. Because that's how I adopt a new identity. It's not by doing something for short term, but doing something that is who I am. You can say, I don't want that drink. Or you can say, I don't drink. You see, those two different things. You got to shift your identity. Like, that's the way that you have to think, as far as like adopting identities. But anyway, those are some of the tools that I use. It's just a matter of accepting that new identity, and that's what I'm doing. I'm out of that cycle.
And those tools, like you said, it might sound cliche, but people are saying it because that's it. The name of my business, Simple Clarity, the simplest ways to find clarity. It might
Yeah,
sound cliche, but these are the simple tools that
yeah,
literally help you. It's
hmm,
not cliche. Honestly, it's what works. You don't need to
yeah,
have all this advancement and this and strategies and da da da. Start with the basics.
yeah,
Journaling, realizing what you have. If you focus on what you have every day, you don't have time to think about what you don't have.
yep. It's really that simple.
It,
Think of the things that you do have, things that you're grateful for, versus the things that you're not. Because if you're like, oh man, I don't have this, you're going to keep operating from less
yes,
instead of abundance.
the things that you can control. I cannot control how
Hmm.
someone feels about me. I cannot
Yeah,
control the actions. They did this to me. I can control how I respond. I can control if I
yep,
let it happen again.
yeah,
I'm with you on that. I think those tools are that simple, that basic. When you lose yourself, you got to start from the beginning
yeah,
so you can find out where you went wrong and don't do it again.
hmm,
That's it. So thank you for sharing those tools and
yeah.
reminding people that it's literally that simple. Start from the basics.
And one thing that I forgot to mention is I used to view isolation as a negative thing because it's like when you're depressed, don't isolate, don't isolate. And I realized that sometimes I do have to isolate. Yeah, I'm good, but sometimes I have to isolate so I can be reborn into something better.
Yes.
Sometimes you need that time with yourself, because if you don't, then a case of mistaken identity. You're not going to ever get back to your true self, and you're really just going to go through life at like a tornado. So being able to have that solitude, being able to isolate, and it's going to get uncomfortable. You're going to get lonely. You're going to feel all of those things. But if you focus on yourself and you work on yourself, it doesn't last.
Mm-mm.
It never lasts, but you feel more at home, you feel more at peace with yourself.
No, that's true. And just for the clarification too, in your isolation is transparency with your isolation.
Yeah.
I'm not isolating in a negative way where I'm devaluing myself or I'm putting myself deeper in depression. I'm isolating to evolve to something better. What advice do you have for women who want to make fitness a lifestyle, but they don't know where to start and they don't believe in themselves due to, all the external pressures?
Well, I think it's definitely the where you want to start is internally. Dissect that. And if you need, some help, like get help, and it's okay. Just get the help that you need so you can start dissecting, right? I always say this: fitness is black and white. It is very simple. If you're in a calorie deficit, you lose weight. If you're in a calorie surplus, you gain weight. Biology and science is just that. The thing that I've learned in my experience, it's not that, it's the behavior change, it's the habit change.
Mm.
It's the, how are you prioritizing you? Or are you prioritizing fitness? Is that something that really matters to you? Because it's in you to prioritize things that you really want, because you do that every day. Whether that, if you want to go out and you want to hookah and brunch, every weekend, that's what you're prioritizing. I definitely think that tapping into the mental aspect of like, what do you want for your life? See, the thing about people and, women, I want to understand is do it because you have the choice to do it before you don't have a choice to, because that's when it's too late. That's when we need all the different medication and in our, because we have not taken care of our bodies. But why aren't we taking care of our bodies? What is your thought process? Is it the negative thinking? Are you being so critical on yourself because you didn't lose the amount of weight that you had? No, you're gonna be like, you know what, it's okay, I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna keep going, because it really is a mindset. It's a shift, and it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that happens with consistency until you see the results. And with that, that's with anything. So sis, like, I'm gonna tell you, you got it. It's okay. It's hard. It is hard work. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not hard work. It is really hard. It takes a lot of discipline, but it's hard too to look back 20 years and I'm like, man, I wish I would have started. So which heart are you gonna choose? I need all women to know, baby, you got it in and you can do it. And you just got to surround yourself with like minded people. Our environment, they play such a large role.
It works both positive and negative.
Exactly. So change your environment, change your mindset. Know that it's not going to be easy. Give yourself grace and know that you can do it.
Yeah. And block out what everybody else expects a woman to look like
Yeah.
in fitness.
Yeah. Because that's what people do. I want you to know that. When people will be like, oh, okay, here she go again. But then when they start, oh, she lost 10 pounds. She ain't gonna keep going. She lost 20 pounds. I mean, what you eating? What you been doing in the gym? You lose 30 pounds. Hey, can you train me? And that's usually how it happens. So at first they're gonna laugh at you, then they're gonna be asking, how you do that?
It's crazy that they already have this platform of what they could expect from you. So yeah, you might fall down, but why would you question me getting back up to it? So it's crazy for me to hear that they do that to you when it's like, at the same point, like, duh, I can do this. I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
I started here.
Yeah.
I let myself get
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else and I brought myself back to, my standard of where I feel happy and where
Yeah.
I feel at peace at. What do you
Yeah.
why you now hit me up not believing? So that's to me is like crazy to hear that people would even doubt it because they know where you even started from.
But people not just doubting me, people doubting like themselves and their
Yes.
friend group. You too. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's just like people, they want to hop on board once they see results like most people, but they don't know what it takes day in and day out. They don't see the process. They don't see the struggle. They don't see the tears. They don't see all of that. They just see the result.
Yep.
And that's what that's not even just with fitness. That's the most successful people. We all want to be, your millionaires, billionaires, and stuff like that, right? And we see the outcome, but we don't really see what it's like day to day for those people. And I see it on a mild level, on a
Yeah,
very mild level, if I'm comparing to them. So you change your environment. Sometimes if you have to isolate in a positive way to uplift yourself, do that. But just know that it's in you. God already put that in you.
it's a lot, but if you're finding your purpose through all of this is a life thing, but even in your fitness journey, like Amy said, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Don't go off of the validation or expectation of the externals because they're not going to see what you're actually doing behind the scenes. Change your mindset, change your environment, and understand that they're not going to see the down, dirty parts. So it doesn't matter what they expect you to look like at the end.
And you're deserving of it.
Yeah,
You're deserving of it, nothing less.
yeah.
You deserve to put you first. You know, as women, we have a lot. We carry heavy loads, man. A lot of
Oh,
burden. You know, and then we tend to put ourselves last. Imagine how much more you can do if you put yourself first.
you know how long it took me? You know how long it took me to find that out? The person you've given them the advice. Change your mindset, change your environment. Okay. Now they're getting onto that. They got the help. They're ready to move on to the next stage. Does that person need a physical trainer, or is finding someone like a fitness influencer who has maybe their body type or their same challenges also a good option?
I think both options. It just depends on the person, right? I think that kind of like with therapy. There's sometimes we need therapy a lot more, and there's sometimes we like, oh, I'm good. I'm in a good space. And that's the same way. So if you have a trainer that you've been working with and you don't feel like you're progressing or you're growing, it's okay to either number one find another trainer or number two take them training wheels off, baby girl. You can do it on your own. You don't always
Hmm.
need it. And then when you feel like life is life and it's getting hard and you can use that extra support, go ahead and get yourself a trainer. You know, go ahead and
Hmm.
get yourself a coach. It's never a, okay, I'm going to just stay with this trainer for the rest of my life. The goal is for you to be independent. The goal is for you to adopt that lifestyle. It's not to have the training wheels on forever. That is the goal. But there are some times where you just need that extra support. So I say, do what you feel is best for you. What is working for you? Like with me, even like I'm like, maybe I'm gonna get me a trainer. Some therapists need therapists. So why not? There may be something else that I don't know about training that I can go to the next trainer and they'll be able to help me towards my goals. And then boom, that unlocks another piece of information in my mind because I done learned something new. And I can take that with me with my clients. So both are beneficial, but at the end of the day, like everything else, you want to eventually be independent on your own because
Yes.
you want to adopt a new identity.
You want to hone in and you want to make that identity a good, stable one. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to pick up new
Yeah.
identities throughout life, but
Mm-hmm.
focus on one at a time, get it nice and stable, and then find out
Yeah.
what else you're interested in. Wear another hat and keep it going.
It's about building better habits. When you work out, it's like brushing your teeth. It's something that you just do every day. Not even thinking about consciously. All right, I'm getting up. It's time to go ahead and get to the gym because that is a habit.
Even some type of movement. You might not do a hardcore hit training. You went rollerblading today. You went out to the skating rink. It does not. You don't have to perspire your life away. You just got to move.
Yeah, you got to get up. You got to move, and you got to just be mindful of like the things that you're putting in your body. Just like you got to be mindful of the things that you're putting in your mind.
Like you said, it's what you're putting into your body. So the next question here is a diet restriction a better solution for physical fitness and mental wellness?
It depends on your goals. Yeah, the diet restriction is if you're trying to lose 30 pounds by vacation in the summer, and that's all your goal is. And yes, obviously, but it's not necessary. And going back to changing identities, adopting a healthier lifestyle, it's about balance. Too much of anything is too much. Too much cardio, too much water consumption is still can be too much.
Yep.
So you want a balance. So I like me personally, I eat consistently, throughout the week. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a pint of ice cream a couple days ago. I had some wings, I think, the following day or something like that. And that scale didn't change. It didn't change. It stayed the same because you want to know why? Then I went right back to eating my healthier meals.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it. So if you eat too much junk food, if you eat too much fried food, and then you eat too much fried food, now you got acid reflux and heartburn because too much of anything is too much. It's about finding your balance. And when you find that balance, you just maintain from there. I promise you, it's no true science. If you want a six pack, understand, baby girl, you're gonna have to, restrict a lot more. You're gonna have to have a different lifestyle. But if you just want to feel fit and you just want to feel good about yourself, focus on feeling good first. Because you could be very healthy and still not feel good. You can have the six pack, the chiseled and all that, and you can still not feel good.
You can still have hormones thrown off. You can still be in
There's
balance.
so many other things. Find what works for you, and and understand that it does takes time, it takes consistency to get the results that you want to get. But once you get there, you don't want to keep like me. I'm like, man, I don't want to keep doing this, gain and losing, gain and losing, gain and losing. So that
Mhm.
means I need to stop. I need to really reevaluate what I've been doing. And I know that my next season or the season I'm going into, I feel it. I know it's going to be something amazing, and I'm really, really excited for it because I don't see myself doing that again, neglecting myself.
Just like to wrap it up with you being the influencer in the fitness and dealing with so many stages of mental health throughout your life is what role do you think social media plays in the mental health of the young women nowadays? And how do you try to create that positive online environment with your page and content?
I think that, well, number one, the influence that it has, it does have a negative impact. Right? We have a younger generation. That's what they know. That's all they know. Like I was actually talking to my mom about this. She's a
Mm.
boomer. And I'm complaining to her thing. She said, well, how do you think I feel as a boomer? It sounds like you're going through what I was going through when you were growing up. And I was like, I guess I am becoming the new boomer as a millennial because I don't understand a lot of the stuff that is happening. But, I also realize the importance of being true to myself and staying authentic and just praying that younger generations or just other women can see that it is okay to be vulnerable because that is your superpower. Vulnerability is your superpower, as Brene Brown would say. But yeah, I would say stay authentic, stay true to yourself because a lot of people are going through what you're going through. They just don't talk about it. They don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable coming to social media to surface about it because they're afraid of ridicule. They're afraid of being looked at as weak, or being made fun of, or guilt tripped or shame. You don't have to do that because people who really are genuine operate from love. Like you'll notice it and you'll gravitate towards them because it'll feel safe because you are worth it exactly the way that you are.
Mhm.
You are deserving exactly the way that you are. You don't have to compare yourself to the next person because guess what? I guarantee there was a time where they felt the same way, but then they were able to channel into themselves. They were able to channel into themselves and they were able to take care of themselves. You always know when somebody is taking care of themselves internally because it reflects externally. Energy doesn't lie. Be true to yourself, stay authentic, and just know that you are loved, you are deserving. There are people rooting for you that you don't even know. There are strangers that root for me sometimes harder than the people that I do know.
And I think when you post things or a caption of a video of a workout on your page, you're showing that positivity. You're showing that vulnerability. If anyone's looking for just pure transparency on or how important it is to know your importance, they're going to find that on your page. Yes, you're working out, but that caption might say something. The way you are showing your before and after your journey, all of that vulnerability and transparency, that's what people need to be reminded is real.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, because people want to make money on social media, it is hard to come by. But there are those of us who just don't care about all of the quick trends or the clickbait to get you to watch. No, find your influencers because we're all on social media. I don't think there is anyone in our generation or the younger generation or even Gen X that are
Yeah.
not on social media. Find your group on social media.
Hmm.
Find
Yeah.
your community if you need to,
Yeah.
and get the authenticity that you need to see every day to remember, to change your mindset, like you said, to change your mental um, reaction from
Yeah.
comparing to being happy and seeing that that could be for you too if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And do the work outside of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay, Hey, I'll be the first person. I think I did it a few weeks ago. I'll hop off social media real quick.
You will.
I will. I'll hop off real quick. All the however many followers I have, whatever I got going, I'll hop off for my mental health because I need to prioritize myself. A week or two, that's fine. But I think everybody should, at least if it's not monthly, every other month or whatever, hop off social media, deactivate everything, go out with nature, spend
Mm,
time with friends, family. You gotta connect to your higher self because social media, I mean, it's a great marketing tool. It's a great way to grow businesses, and I support that in that aspect. But if you're only there to scroll mindlessly and it's not adding any true value, disconnect every now and again
yes.
so you can be connected.
Yep. Like you said, consuming things that are valuable to you.
Yes, and too much of anything is too much.
Find your balance.
Yeah,
That's like the line, the caption this entire podcast is when it comes to mental wellness and physical movement, you got to find the balance. There's no right or wrong way. There's the way that works best for you. That now we're going to see all you glowing. That work was done. We can see it. We can feel that energy. We can feel that vibe. We can see
yeah,
it glowing. That find your balance between the two. And don't ever put the expectations of others on yourself,
yeah.
and not one that's comfortable, right? We can't never grow if we stay in comfort.
Yes,
But
exactly.
an expectation of yourself that you give yourself grace to go to the next level, to evolve. And I
Yeah,
always say this, as long as you're alive, you have time to evolve.
yeah. You don't take life for granted. There's a lot of people that wish they were in your shoes. There's a lot of people that want to be in your shoes for sure, but you gotta want to be in your shoes.
That's it. I got so many gems. This was
So
great.
many. I can't wait to like go back and watch it because I'm like, oh, this is a good
Some
one.
gems. We got a couple little things we threw in there. Little
We sure did. We sure did. This is great.
I just I want to thank you, like I said, for being on the podcast. Asked you what like a week or so ago if you would do this. It was last minute, and you're like, absolutely. Thank you for that. I hope this helps all the women out there that are looking into getting their mental well being together and adding physical movement to their life. It is possible. It ain't got to be perfect. It doesn't have to be social media perfect either. There's two different perfects. It has to fit you. It has to balance with your life, what you got going on, and what your expectations are yourself whenever you're evolving. And like Amy said, do that internal work first. Dissect where you're at, where you want to go. And if you need help coaching yourself there or getting there, find you someone to help you, whether it's a therapist, a physical trainer, whether it's another influencer out there going through your thing that's showing you the transparency and vulnerability. Find what works for you. Everyone starts simple at ground zero. Like Amy said, just I'll journal, gratitude, talk to God. And I'm finding my superpower and I'm using it. I'm not trying to be a facade of what everybody else wants me to be. So
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. If you have any closing remarks, please go ahead and give us any.
Honestly, everything that you said, you hit the nail on the head, and people just have to understand that it's the small things, small habits consistently reap big rewards, and that's it. It's that simple.
Another gym. These will be some great shorts. Let them know all the places they can find you on social media, and I'll make sure to put them in the description of the video as well, or the podcast as well.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, AmyJ.23. And I won't even say, link in bio or anything like that because when I tell y'all I'm in this space that I genuinely just want to help people right now, I just want to share my story. I'm not saying that I won't get to the link in bio piece, but just follow me and I hope that I can make you feel good and I hope that I can influence you into your higher self and the things that you deserve. And I can't say that enough. No matter what has happened, no matter what you've done, you are still deserving. So follow me.
That's how we're going to wrap it up. As if you go and follow Amy, I'm sure with this new journey she is on, it's a fresh one that she has started. You're going to get a lot of good content. You're going to get
Yeah.
exactly what you're looking for when it comes to mental well-being and your physical fitness. This is one of the perfect times to go ahead and jump on there, follow her, and stay inspired, stay motivated, and make her a part of your community.
Yeah.
As a person
Please.
who is a part of her community and she's a part of mine, it is literally a blessing. So take advantage of it. Once again, thank you so much, Amy, and I hope you have a great day.
All right. Thanks, like.